Need to hydrate a little bit. Had a couple beers last night. That was a funny one. All right, we'll start with that. Actually, let's get into it. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the Living for a Living podcast, episode number 24. Welcome back, thinkers.
Living for a living, baby. How you doing?
And I'm excited for this one because we had our first game yesterday. So now kind of to start each episode, I'm going to just kind of talk a little bit about the game. Oh, refrigerator turns on. Let me turn that video off. Okay, someone remind me to turn the fridge back on because I turned it off the other night and left it off all night. And luckily I didn't have too much in there, so we were all good. But yeah, what I was saying was now start the podcast. Going to talk about the game, our following. I don't even know how to talk right now. Talk about our game that happened the day before, or the weekend before. Little Monday morning armchair quarterback from the guy who was actually playing quarterback. So it's kind of cool. Got the coffee today, no beer. Kind of trying to get off beer a little bit or just going to one day a week or something with it. It's kind of tough out here when it's so cheap and so good, but got the coffee, apple juice, water trifecta going today. But yeah, so let's start with the game, the fun stuff, because man, yesterday was a lot of fun. The atmosphere here in Jihlava for the Gladiators is pretty damn good. It had been hyped up by the guys and kind of everybody in the organization and not overhyped at one bit. I think we had almost 700 people there. I think final thing was like 690 I saw somewhere, which I know to someone who's listening right now, you're like, dude, that's nobody. But for American football in Europe, that is a crowd. And we play in like a second division soccer stadium that's like a nice stadium. And I think it holds, I don't know how many it holds, but in the one sideline section that there is, it is almost like a perfect, I don't know how many people fit there, maybe 800, 900, 1,000. But it looked pretty much full. And like, that's cool. And so we had the tunnel, big gladiator tunnel. We got fucking fire smoke things as we run out onto the field, and like it's a vibe. Like I was, like I said, thoroughly impressed, and it's fun to play in a situation like that. You know, it's not necessary by any means for me. I know a lot of guys they like having fans and stuff, and obviously I do, but it's not. I've played in front of 30,000 at Fresno State, and I've played in front of 30 in Algarve, Portugal. And to me, it's a game. A game's a game. Football's football. It's 100 yards and 52 yards wide, unless sometimes you're playing in Europe where the fields are only like 90 yards long, and probably only 50 yards wide because you're playing on soccer fields. But I will say it's cool to have the atmosphere like it was yesterday. We had cheerleaders, kind of a couple cuties out there. What's up, girls? What else? I mean, there's beer garden. There's a VIP section. There's little, I mean, dude, it was dope. I wish to all my American listeners back home, like if you could just afford that quick, well, and if you were allowed in Europe right now, but if you could afford that flight over just for a European football game, it would be well worth it. Because it was cool. It's really cool to see that in a foreign land per se. And, you know, we had a solid game. We won 37-0. Defense balled out, obviously. You know, anytime they don't score, it's pretty hard to lose. So big, huge credit to the D. Offensively, we did, I'd say, good, but not great. We started real slow. They came out, I thought they were going to be in a kind of 41 look, and they came out in three down, 32, 34 kind of look. And kind of honestly, that first drive, I got in my own head a little bit, and we went 3 and out quick. And guys were just a little nervous, a little bit of, it's the first game that these guys have played since last season, and last season ended, I don't know, like 10 months ago. So it was an extremely long off season for them. And we got a couple guys on the team that are younger, which I love because, they're jacked up. Like, this is the first year my homie David, who plays our slot, he reminds me of myself when I was 20, when worried about the swag, worried about, make sure we're looking good, because I was the exact same way. And so I was sending him some pictures of me and Juco before the game. We were just talking about different swags we like and blah, blah, blah. And, when I was at DVC, I was visor, wristbands, had the skinny sweatbands on the knees, double Nike socks. Like, that was a part of it. And, now I still, obviously I want to look good, but I'm not rocking a visor anymore. Sweatbands are kind of, I think I'm going to rock a sweatband next game. I'm going to get swaggy with it. Go sweatband on the right arm. I got the QB wrist play call on this arm. On the left, I rock some black tights with my mid stride line socks. So, that's a little swag nobody else has really got. Shout out stride line, my guys. And although stride line, my white socks, my white mids are like getting floppy. So we got to do something about that. But at the same time, keep doing your thing because you have the best socks. But yeah, like I said, we went 3 and out first drive. Second drive, we drove right down the field. We had, I was a little bit rusty with play. I wasn't calling every play in Spain this year, which I didn't really like, to be honest. I like being in control, like calling the plays. I'd make the game plan, but then the coach was calling the plays, and sometimes it's good because it can go quick, and sometimes I think a little bit too much out there, or I stay a little bit too vanilla because I'm a if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of guy. But then sometimes I end up forgetting about something we've been practicing, and that's a little bit out of the vanilla folder. And that's kind of a play on words. Manila folder, vanilla folder. Yeah. I think I'm gonna be a rapper after I'm done playing football in like 10 years. I was talking to my guy Colin about it, and like, I'm pretty sure in like 10 years, 11 years, I'm gonna have a hit song, or Colin and I are gonna have a hit song. So just stay on the lookout for that in 2031. I'm like joking, but also pretty fucking serious. And yeah, second drive, we went down, and I think we got down to like the 20 or something, and we ended up dropping a touchdown. And then I think I scrambled for the first on a third and kind of long, a 3rd and 5, 6, 7, I don't remember, but we had holding, got back to like 3rd and 15 and just didn't convert. And I think I was a little conservative. Like I said, a little rusty with the play calling. Had to call a couple timeouts to make sure we didn't delay a game. It's so sick here. We have a play clock in the corner, which is like, I've never had that in anywhere in Europe. And so, like, it's nice, but it's really low to the ground, so it's kind of hard to see sometimes. Let's see if we can maybe get a little change on that for next home game. But then, yeah, we went 4 and out, I think, in that we ended up going for it on 4th and 15 or whatever, didn't get it. And then scored touchdown, 30-yard touchdown next drive. I think scored a 45-yard touchdown the next drive. We got a safety in between those things. And so then we went into half 16-0. And then second half came out and just started rolling. And we drove on down. Nice drives. 3 drives in a row. And 3 drives in a row, my guy, Jan Hansa Berry. He's my Czech Megatron out here, 6'6". Hit him with a fade, first goal line fade on the first one. Slanted him up on the second one because they were scared of the fade, and then we went right back to the fade on the third one. So I think that's gonna worry some teams. I love throwing the goal line fade. I love throwing any fade in general, but especially to a guy who can go up and get it. And so me and him got a nice little connection. And I got to be honest, man, our offense, we have some weapons, and I'm not exactly sure how I'd match us up because man-to-man's going to be tough, to be honest. And so if you want to blitz, you got to play man normally. And if you want to sit back, we got a dope running back and a good solid O-line for running game. So I don't know. My whole strategy is whatever the defense wants to let us do, we'll do that. So if we want to if they want to play off, we'll dink and dunk. If they want to press, we'll go over the top. If they want to let us run, we'll run. If whatever. So yeah, overall, and like I said, defense. First drive, their offense went down the field. First drive 3 and out. Then the second drive, they went down the field and then missed a field goal. And besides that, that was like really the only yards our defense gave up. In the second half, our job was pretty easy. We started with the ball, I think, on like the minus 40 was like the furthest back we started. And then, my funny highlight of the game was we'll do like a little quick kick. I think in the second half it was like 4th and 9 from our plus 40 or 50 or something. I quick kicked it, pinned him down on the 4. Just a little coffin corner. And so, yeah, that was fun. But, we got next game up. Got a game plan for that tonight. Watch the film, make the corrections, but really it's more about thinking about next week, because the team we're going to play is completely different team, completely different defense. So yeah, we'll get that rocking. But I was super, super excited. Super excited for how the game went. And first game of the year, get that one out of the way. It was good, but some stuff to work on. So yeah, that's a little 10-minute rundown, I think. Try and keep that somewhat short, throw some highlights in there as well. And what else? Oh yeah, then last night went to my I gotta apologize a little bit. I've kind of said in the past that the Czech culture isn't super smiley, which is a little bit true. But I think I was also kind of going to some non-smiley places, because now I kind of got some spots, as I mentioned before last week, that are like my spots. I got a restaurant by my house now that's like my spot. Got a pizza spot. Got my new cafe that's a spot. A new lunch place I've been hitting that I hit today, that the girl was super nice there. And so it's some good little vibes going on, man. It's just that time of year, I think. I'm hoping. And you got to find the gems and not force it. I was forcing it at that first cafe. Those girls did not want to be friendly. Even with like a 30 crown tip on 100 and some order. I was like, man, well, whatever. Later. But yeah, last night I went to my little restaurant, had a beer or two, and then was going to go home. I was like, man, because they close at 10 on Sunday. I was like, man, let me go get one more beer. And so there's like this kind of sports bar on the same little complex as this restaurant that I go to. So I walk in there, and there's a pool table, and they got the soccer game on, and sit down at the bar and kind of say hello, ciao. And they kind of talk to me, and pro mi nemluvim česky. Sorry, I don't speak Czech. You know, if you kind of say that, at least if it's a cool person, they respond like, oh, like, okay, he's trying, so let me try a little English. So two guys at the bar next to me who were some interesting characters that you might expect to be drinking at a bar on a Sunday night, which, hey, I'm not judging. I was with them too. So, but their English wasn't very good, but we're sitting there with our phones, Google Translating. You know, Google Translate, you have the conversation button. And so you can click like check, and it says talk. And so the guy will talk, and it translates there. And then I can press English, and I can talk, and I show him. And so we did that and ended up having a beer or two there. The guy next to me bought me a shot. I mean, we couldn't communicate at all, but we were communicating a lot. I know a little bit too much about that guy's life, to be honest, bro. But good people deep down, I think. But he bought me a shot that was like a fig vodka shot, which I'd never had in my life before. So it was literally a shot of vodka with a fig in it. And I'm not like hip to the fig game whatsoever. So you eat the fig and then drink the vodka, and like, I had to ask if it was vodka because it didn't taste like anything. It was sweet. It was, I mean, those could be dangerous, you know? So I don't know if you can even request that in the States, but if you can, man, try that one out. The old figu vodku or something like that. I forget what they said. I was like, yo, how do I order this? If I wanted this again and they don't speak English, how do I order this? Like, oh, figuvo vodkuvo, something. I don't know. I'm trying, man. I just don't remember. Yeah, what do we got? Let me take a little sip of coffee here, get hyped. So anyway, I got in not super late last night, but a little late. And didn't get great night's sleep, but that's why this coffee's happening. And then what else? What else we got? What's going on? I mean, how are you doing out there? You doing all right? I hope so. I really do hope so. I know a lot of people are just going through it right now. I don't know what it is. I think it's just kind of like a little energy in the air, you know, call me the crystal guy or whatever, you know, but I just think there's some kind of weird energy, whether it be the time, 2020, the moon, I don't exactly know, or a combination of all of it. I'm sure that's probably it. Because everybody I talk to, you know, if I ever get a like random message from a homie, which has been happening a lot lately, and I love, you know, reconnecting with old friends that I haven't talked to in a while, and whether it just be, you know, saying something about the podcast or whatever, or whatever, just reconnecting. I always ask people how they're doing because I think it's important, and you know, I truly care. And so pretty much though, a lot of people I talk to right now, and when I ask, how are you doing? Everyone's saying like, I just kind of feel in a weird funk. Like I'm in this weird space in life, and I'm kind of unsure, and I don't really know what is what. And, you know, I wanted to just bring that up and talk about that and just put it out there because, like, if you're feeling that, like, I'm not trying to dismiss it or anything, but just know, like, you're not the only one, you know? And so there's a lot of benefit to kind of like knowing you're not the only one. Because at times, you know, I know for myself, speaking from my experience, like when I kind of get in my depressed states, like the natural inclination is to think nobody understands and nobody knows what I'm going through and nobody gets it and I'm all alone, and, you know, that narrative, which to a degree is true, 100%. Well, 99%. Can't be 100 on anything, right? But it's also not true. Huh? 99, 100, 50%? I don't know. Because there are, maybe it's not the exact thing that you're going through, but someone else is going through very similar emotions. And talking about them, bringing them up, and just, or hearing other people talk about them, I think is incredibly beneficial. I mean, to my knowledge, haven't ever had to go to AA or anything like that, but from what I hear from friends, and I listen to Theo Vaughn a lot, you know, like that's a big part of AA is like this support group that of people that understand of what you've gone through. And maybe one guy likes whiskey and one guy likes rum and one guy drinks beer and one guy does all three. And so it's not all the same exact problem, but they all have a similar base. And so, yeah, just wanted to say, you know, if you're going through it, man, that's all right. Keep going. You know, I think, there's not really any other choice, right? I mean, that's what I always think sometimes when I'm like, man, I'm tired of this, or I'm not feeling it, or like whatever. And I'll think to myself like, well, what is my other option right now? Just lay here and die? Nah, I'm good on that. So I guess I'll keep going. And, you know, I'm just trying not to be so hard on myself. And with the podcast, I'm getting super consistent with this, which is good. But like the vlog I posted one maybe like 2 weeks ago. I was trying to be weekly on that. I almost got one ready, but I just haven't been super hyped on it. Although I got a good one coming from game day, which should be cool. And I got some other good ones. It's just, I don't know. I just hadn't been feeling it. And at times I'm like, man, I'm a fucking pretender because I said I was going to do it once a week and I'm not, and da-da-da-da-da, but I'm just not feeling it, you know? And so you can't sometimes, you know, with something like this where, you know, I do it a lot from inspiration. Like you can't just generate inspiration at times. And, you know, with the podcast, I used to kind of be that way. And now I'm just talking to myself right here. Obviously, this is all I'm ever doing, talking to a camera and a microphone, but just talking to myself, making it legitimate. In the beginning, like the podcast, I wasn't super consistent at all with it, and I'd really give myself a hard time on it. And I finally just kind of forced myself like, yo, you got to do one today or this week or by Wednesday. And now I'm in, I don't know how many in a row I've done now, but I think at least the last 2 months, so the last 8 probably have been pretty weekly, which isn't much, you know? Got Rogan doing 2-3 a week. Granted, he doesn't have to edit them and do all that. Like, that's kind of my next step, or once I get there, or, you know, shit. If there's anybody out there who, like, wants to be involved in the podcast from, like, an editing standpoint, I mean, it kind of sucks to do the editing, I mean, I think, but maybe some people like that, but just don't want to be the guy talking. I like editing it sometimes, but then sometimes it's just tedious. But yeah, if you're looking to do some editing or want to be involved in any way with the podcast, you know, I don't have any money for you at the moment, but if and when this ever does take off and starts getting a little some, man, I'll do the right thing. It's about principle. For money's all about principle for me. It ain't about the bottom dollar. Um, so yeah, let me throw that one out there. If anybody feels compelled, shit, if you wanted to sponsor this, like get a little ad going in there, I'm with that. I'll sell my voice a little bit. I'll hype up whatever you got going. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me go get a hair tie. I got to put my hair up. I'm getting hot. Okay. Alrighty. And speaking of the podcast, I think I'm on the verge to making it. You know, as I just said, like if it ever does pop off or whatever, because I got to be careful the way I say this. The website that you are watching this on right now sent me an email saying that one of my productions, episode 19, was taken down because it violated some kind of code or something. And in that one, I don't even know why. I mean, it's called The Great Masquerade, and I'm kind of like talking a little bit of shit about the M words. The M, not N, M words. Things that go right here. I got to be careful. And they got taken down because it violates our... And, you know, we're entering interesting times with that kind of stuff, you know? Between Andrew Schultz, some people that were wearing white coats, talking about a different way to combat a situation that's going on currently that was a little controversial. And, you know, another guy I follow, Anomaly, on Facebook, he's had some stuff taken down. Entering interesting times with that. And, you know, there's people that will argue, well, robots, well, they're private businesses, so they have the right to censor if they want to censor. And I agree. You are correct, my friend. My robot friend. You are 100% correct. But my whole thing is either let's censor some, it's either all or nothing. So let's either censor all kinds of stuff and make it known that things are being censored, or let's not. You know, I mean, on Twitter, I see guys, I follow this guy Zuby, who's like I think he's a British rapper. I don't listen to any of his music, but he's one of my favorite follows on Twitter. And he's saying, like, he said, I forget what he said. He said, like, you're a moron if, or something like that. I mean, shoot, a friend of a friend got his Instagram post taken down showing a body transformation going from 250 pounds to 185 pounds, saying that it might make somebody feel bad about themselves. Like, what? But on the same thing, there's big booty bitches galore. We got famous people posting weird shit about kids. But a guy with some abs next to a picture of what he looked like when he was fat might make someone feel bad about themselves. Which, I get it. It might. But what about all the other things? Like I said, in the censor world, it's got to be 0 or 100. in a way. I know that's contradicting some things I've said in the past, but I would prefer it be zero. I would prefer that I'm allowed to distinguish what is true and what I believe and what is fact. And that's just a main issue nowadays is people can't. I mean, they can. I shouldn't say they can't. They for sure can. They just don't want to investigate. They want to be told what to do. They want to be told what to think. They want to be told what to feel. And I get it. I get it. When you only have 3 hours of spare time per day after working a crappy job that you don't like and driving for an hour and a half in traffic and dealing with whatever, bills, debt, yada, yada, yada. Like, the main thing on your mind isn't like, well, let me see how bad the system is screwing me, So I get it. It's just, I don't know if that's the answer. But I don't know what the answer is, to be honest. So don't listen to me. But yeah, when I got that email, I was like, what did I haven't even posted anything recently. This is like from a month or two ago. So it has like 100 views, maybe 200 views. So they're coming after me. But I mean, that made me think like, maybe they think I know what I'm talking about. That's what I'm going with. I'm just going to believe that one. And God, we're just becoming so soft as a world, as a globe, as a flat earth. I would say I'm like a 90% globalist, 10% flat earther. There's a couple weird little things in there that make me not fully on the globe. I mean, like I said, I'm trying never to be 100% positive on anything besides the faith in myself. But if you're curious about those couple things, flat earth, look up some shit about Antarctica and look up some stuff about flight patterns from South America to Australia. My guy Bert, if my guy Bert watches this, he would be so pumped on that. All right, let's move on from that before this one gets taken down too. And let me get into, what do we got here? Oh yeah, let's go Finnish football, because I mean, if there's not going to be college football this year, I don't think. Maybe Texas will play, maybe I think SEC is going to play. And that's led me to my other thing. I guess I'm getting off on a tangent before we get into Finnish football. Man, if I ever move back to the U.S., which I don't really see myself doing permanently anytime soon or ever, I'm for sure not moving back to the West Coast. And I've been a diehard West Coast is the best coast guy for my entire life. And I still, to a degree, think that. I mean, for the weather and climate and different trees, mountains, beaches, that kind of thing. But the West Coast is turning into a crazy place Seattle sucks. I mean, the city is cool. This architecture, buildings, the fact that Mount Rainier's close by, the water. I don't mean the city itself, it sucks. It's just the people, man. And obviously I'm generalizing because I got a lot of great friends that are still in Seattle. But overall, holy smokes. And the leadership and, and I don't know too much about it. It's just turning into, talking with some friends or acquaintances or people I know from back home is who've never left that area And so they've just been in this bubble their entire lives about liberal fucking neoliberalism, and which I consider myself a liberal in that same sentence. And it's just like, do you have any sense of reality? And you don't. Like, traveling, man, is so important. Like, and I don't mean like going to Cancun and staying in a resort, or going wherever and just like staying around, traveling, going to a new place but with the same people that you hang out with all the time anyway. That's not what I mean. I mean, it's better than nothing, don't get me wrong, but like when I say traveling, I mean like immersing yourself and meeting new people. And you can travel in your own city by that definition. And it just, by talking to some people that are different from you, in whether it be appearance, culture, whatever little demographic box you want to fill, like, just it equates to some perspective, in my opinion. You know, it gives you a different outlook, lets you see things. It kind of just gives you a different lens to put over your eyes. And so, man, I know right now is not the time to travel. But when and if the world ever, I mean, we might just always be in pandemic mode from now on. I wonder if people realize that. But when it ever opens up, man, go do something. Even if it's going to the town next over to you by yourself, and, you know, maybe go like 3 towns over. And it just, I don't know, it opens a new perspective. But that tangent, I meant to start talking about Finnish football, and was going to say that, you know, there's not going to be any college ball probably, unless it's in the South. And so if you're someone back in the States, want to watch a little bit of football, I highly recommend tuning into the Finnish league, because those 6 teams, Steelers, I don't know, 6 teams, 3 games a week, a Thursday, a Friday, Saturday game. It's some pretty good football overall. I mean, it could be better, obviously, but the Steelers and the Royals are legit. Like, they're good to watch. They got ballers, and they're both well coached. And so it's the equivalent of watching somewhat like college football, to be honest. Also tune into my games too, because we're balling. But the college football thing is just so hypocritical for why it's not starting. Let me just say this one thing, and then we'll talk Finland and talk a little X's and O's, because some of these teams in Finland do not understand. They have some of the best players on teams and just can't figure it out coaching-wise. And I don't think I'm John Madden by any means. I just know a couple basic fundamental pass protections and concepts of how to take guys away and how you try and limit the other team. But college football is just so hypocritical right now. You know, we can supposedly send kids back to school, and I don't know at what degree, whether it's online or whatever, but we can't have college football with no fans because that's too dangerous. But the NBA can play, and I know the NBA is in a bubble, but NFL is going to play, MLB, like, so what? You know, like, if you really wanted to constantly test and keep the kids in a bubble, or, you know, in a radius or whatever, you could easily do that at a university, like, easily. I mean, they kind of have to do that anyway, just unofficially. Now you make it official. But the reason that schools are canceling is not because of, I mean, it's not because they care about the kids' health at all. Like, at all. If they did, playing 2 seasons in a matter of 8 months is not good or not healthy for anybody. So let's put that starting. If it's about the health, like that's the first thing. But it's all about the money, honey, boy, the money. Because these top Division I schools that are making bread off of their football programs, they don't want to have a season with no fans? Are you tripping? What? You know how much money these schools make from games, home games? From ticket sales to the tourism, or not tourism, but the fans coming in and the restaurants all around, to the concessions at the game, to merchandise, to whatever. And if there's no fans, there's no tickets. There's no hot dogs. There's no jerseys. You feel me? Like, what? We're going to pretend like the schools care about health? What? That's so cute. Oh my God, that's cute. Schools don't give a fuck. I mean, like, at this point, I think everyone could agree that university in general, American university in general, is all about money. Tuition prices have risen at an astronomical rate in comparison with every other thing. And it's all about the money. Just like anything. And so I just like when people are like, oh, the kids need to, and I know that some players are, falling into the trap of this health crisis. And on top of all that, like the percentage of, well, God, I've got to be careful with what I said. Man, this sucks. Maybe I got to start a Patreon. I'll charge 50 cents a month just so I can say whatever I want. But, oh, that's actually kind of a good idea. All right. Yeah, but, the 18 to 24-year-old athlete is one of the healthiest people on the world. And so I'll let you just infer why I brought that up, okay, in regards to the current pandemic. So, yeah, that one's just crazy. But, okay, Finnish football. I only watched the Royals versus Crocodiles game this weekend. Both other 2 games were blowouts, and so I missed them both on Thursday and Saturday. And so once I saw the blowout, I was like, maybe I'll watch it, but I got my own stuff to watch now. But I like watching the Royals because, I know everyone on the team pretty much from my 6 weeks when I was there. And I like watching the Crocodiles too because they have, like, I think, top 2 running backs in the league and top 2 receivers in the league also. And one of each. But what Crocodiles, like, we can't figure this out, right? Like, they're playing man coverage with, and I don't mean disrespect at all when I say this, but with a young Finnish kid on your best import receiver. He's playing like 8 yards off. We can't just throw a 5-yard hitch. We can't throw a slant. And we can't figure out pass protection. That's the thing that baffles me. They line up in their 20 personnel set. That's 2 running backs, no tight ends for the casual. And so when they lined up in that, the Royals line up in a bear front, which means 5 down linemen for the casual. It means every lineman's covered. So they line up in a 52 basically. And then they're playing cover 1 Royals just man up. I fucking love it, Stacy. Bro, it's dope. And the Royals just play cover one. I think they had the free, like, cheated to the side of the import. But still, the guy's off. And the hitch is there all day. And the QB just for his life cannot catch, step, and throw. And, I mean, they're running the ball into a 7-man front and doing decent, but still not great. And then at least if they, I mean, and then pass pro wise, when you have a bear front, when you go against bear, 5 down linemen, you block it up big on big, man on man. I'll show you, okay? Right here. Let me draw this up real fast. We'll do a little fast forward action. Oh, right there. Okay. So they're lined up like this. We see that? Okay. Okay, 5 down linemen essentially. These 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all in for a run. And so are these guys. And then they're just playing man out here with the free safety lurking. Okay? And for the love of the Crocodiles, they're like trying to block him. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they know what they're doing. But when this happens, okay, just so we know, is you go big on big, 5 on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So also they have running backs back here like this. Sometimes they line him up back there instead of right there. This is the dude. Okay, when they do this, you go big on big. So you go man, 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 man. And then in pass pro, let's just make it easy for right now to explain here right there. He has him and he has him. 7 on 7. Defense can always blitz one more than the offense can block. That's the name of the game. But if they do that, then there's no one deep. So if they do that, which they're not going to do, because then they're matched up really badly with one of the best receivers in the league. So Crocodiles, this is how you block the bear front in pass protection. And it's so simple. It's all one-on-ones. There's not an easier way to do it. Or if you wanted, you could go full slide, and then he would take this guy. If you wanted to full slide it. But that doesn't really make sense to me. Because then you're having this guy block kind of a D-end-like type guy. But sure. Half the time, they didn't block one of these edge rushers who's just coming free. No adjustments, no nothing. I'm not hating, but I'm just like, it's hard to know that someone's being paid to coach and they can't make that adjustment. Because that's like, I mean, we did that in 8th grade. And so that was frustrating to watch. Frustrating to watch him not get the ball to Roby. I'm just going to call him. I forget, Robitelli is, I think, his last name. He's a dude. He's also playing corner. And then on defense, Crocodiles. Dude, the Royals' offense is nice. Okay, straight up, Royals' offense is nice. They have, I think, the best player in Europe in Alpha. He plays receiver, punt return, kick return. He can play safety. He can take over a game, especially on offense. And then they also have Nico Peterson, who's solid, really good. And then they have a good O-line, good run game, and the QB is a big dude who can run, and he's been throwing it good lately. And then the 2 other receivers are Finnish guys, and I know one of them. They're solid, but I'm telling you right now, they're not trying to throw it to those 2 guys. At all. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but that's the truth. And for whatever reason, and so the Royals line up in either trips with Alpha as the number 2, Nico is the number 3, or Nico's like always the number 3, and then the 2 other guys on the outside, or they line up with Alpha as the single receiver in trips, and Nico is the number 3, and then the 2 other guys at 1 and 2 in trips. And so, like I said, the Crocodiles have their best receiver also playing corner. And so why aren't you coming up with something where he follows Alpha and he covers Alpha? And you try and stalemate that matchup right there. Still have help over the top. Whether it be a corner, if he's on the 3 receiver side, have it be a corner who really doesn't have to pay attention to the number 1 receiver because they're not really looking at him. And then you can bracket Nico with a linebacker and another safety. And then you just man up the backside with finish on finish guy. Or, I mean, I think the Crocodiles also have another good, like, French DB. Just go play man over there. You're going to win that matchup. And then make them beat you running the ball, which, I mean, they probably could because Tom is a beast and the O-line's sick and the quarterback can run it. But, I mean, there's so many plays where they're just, like, treating Alpha and Nico like they're just normal guys. And it's like, you guys, that's not, like, you have to game plan. You take away the game plan should be take away the best guy. Don't make someone else beat you. And then if Alpha goes over to the trip side, you have your best corner receiver covering him here. You got Roby on him with safety over the top too, just to help. And then you still have the bracket with Nico. And then just man up the other 2 guys and try and stop the run. It's like I said, I don't know what's going on over there. Like, I don't get it. It's just not, it's not complicated is the thing that really, like, irks me as I'm watching the game. It's not complicated at all. Or then, going back to Crocodiles offense, Royals defense, when they go into 10 personnel, meaning only 1 running back, 4 receivers, normally Royals would just go into a 32 2-man look. So they got 3 D linemen, 2 linebackers in the middle, kind of like that bear front I showed you. But now those outside guys just go play man coverage, and they keep 2 guys over the top. And so if you really want to run the ball, it's a much better look to run the ball versus that than running it versus the bare 52 look where you're outnumbered in the box. And, you know, the Crocodiles also have some other finish. I don't even know if he's I think Tom, I don't know where he's from. Maybe they have another receiver that's nice. So between one of the top, Roby, one of the top guys, Christian Powell, the running back who, like, doesn't really need blocking to make yards. I mean, he had one like 4th and 7. They ran the ball late in the game and he jumped over a guy, got hit in the air, landed, and then still went. I was like, whoa, okay. And I mean, guys, it's baffling to see. You know, it's just tough to see some of the scheming being done defensively over there. It's all about matchups in Finland. I mean, it's all about matchups in football in general. Like this week in my game, I had my best or my fastest receiver, probably, you know, my best athlete against their worst corner, and they're in cover 4. Corner should be bailing, but I know he can't run with my guy. That was our second touchdown. Like, I know my guy is just better than his guy. So we're going to just take that. You know, at some point, you throw the X's and O's out of the window, and you just jimmies and if the X's and O's aren't set up in your favor. So, I don't know. Just something to think about. But yeah, not trying to be a dick. Just trying to, I don't know, get it a vent. get it off my chest because, man, it's tough to watch at times. It's frustrating, super, super frustrating. I don't know. Well, what else we got? What else did I write down? Okay, I got to edit this back into the Seattle thing somehow. But talking about the Seattle climate, that whole West Coast neoliberalism, offended by everything, cancel culture that's going on. Like, to be fair, if this was 5 years ago, 2015, I would have been right involved. I would have been front line probably of the protests. I would have been screaming there, chanting, "I can't breathe." Bless me. Which, I don't know if you guys understand what's going on. I said words are incredibly powerful, right? Thoughts and words are incredibly powerful. We're in the middle of a pandemic that deals with our respiratory system. And we have people literally wearing masks and chanting, "I can't breathe." Like, do you not see the kind of magic involved in that at all? Or is that just me? I sure wouldn't be chanting that if I was somebody. That's for damn sure. But my point that I'm trying to make, probably not very well, is 5 years ago, I would have been front line. I would have been, when Trump got elected, me and my dad would get in heated arguments because I was in that kind of brainwashed sector of listening to mass media and letting that do my thinking for me. And I know you got to say it always, I don't think Trump's some savior either. I think he just is what he is. And to me, though, when both sides, both Democrats and Republicans, career politicians, hate one guy and the media tries to make someone look constantly that bad, there's something, and I don't know what it is exactly, but there's something good about it or about him. And I know there's probably a lot of bad things about him too. Where are you perfect? You've never made a mistake. You've never said something that maybe was a little wrong. There's perfect people out there. Shout me a message. If you're a perfect person, let me know. I need to hear this. Because I'm not perfect. I'm not even close to being perfect. The amount of times I've fucked up, oh my goodness. But we have this some crazy idea that the president has to be perfect. And I don't know. It's the quote, one of my favorite quotes of, let me pull it up. One of my favorite quotes of Malcolm X ever. I don't want to get it right. Malcolm X said, "The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and make the guilty innocent." It says, and that's power because they control the mindset of the masses. He had some other one that I liked here. Oh, here we go. "This is the media, an irresponsible media. It will make the criminal look like he's the victim and the victim look like he's the criminal. If you aren't careful, the media will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. This is sort of a propaganda tactic that I would call psychological warfare." And I bring that up because I know there's people that love to like quote people, and just talking Malcolm X right now in specific, that love to quote on certain things for certain reasons, but then will completely ignore something like this. And so it's just like, I don't know. To me, it's obvious. And there's already something came out with like new propaganda studies being done by the U.S. government or FBI, CIA. I'm not exactly sure the exact organization. And about, the I got to just be careful with my words, about the response and solution to what's going on now. That that they're already figuring out ways to, what's the best way to manipulate. And so yeah. It's that's I think really all I got on that one. Or got on all of that. This was a fun one. We're what? Hour in? Perfect. Chop it down 55 minutes maybe. Had to do my hair, had to charge the battery. Yeah. All right. I think that does it for today. No questions this week. Come on, guys. Give me a question, please. Please. But yeah, alrighty, y'all. As always, appreciate your attention. Appreciate you. Love you. No matter who you are out there. And I think we can change the world. I really do. But we got to change ourselves first and foremost. And I'm trying to work on that one, the great fight, one day at a time. Trying to make everyone who I come in contact throughout the day, try and make their day just a little bit better. My presence makes their day a little bit better. And I think if we all had that mindset, and I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal here, I know that kind of sounds like it, but if we adopted that as a collective, I think there'd be a lot of power in it. And so that's what I'll leave you with today. Alrighty? Until next week, have a wonderful week. Be well. Drink some water. Eat an orange. That's about it. Alrighty. Peace. Much love.
Living for a living, baby. How you doing?